Welcome to week 1 of Tater Time. We're so glad to be back in our normal format on our awesome desk. Season is out to Mark Pig, just a reminder. So, Tater, you start us off with your high school games.
Okay. Well, let me go back to last weekend. And first of all, I just want to go send an appreciation to Coach Bradford at Stanhope and all they did for Josh Hill and his family. They really appreciated everything they did, honoring him before the game. Going into the game itself, it took a while for it to start. The game didn't start till about 9:30 because of the rain and lightning.
Yeah.
And it was close to getting canceled, but it didn't get canceled. Stanhope pulled out a 24-8 win, and a couple guys stood out. Trey Duncan, the running back for Stanhope, as well as Coach's son, Connor Bradford, two guys that showed out, and quarterback Andrew Rhines too. Going over to Prattville for this game this week is Prattville Stanhope. So the rivalry game, coming over there and coming to this game, feel like, obviously the records with Prattville, I think they're 11-28 and 1 all-time versus the Mustangs.
Go Lions.
And they do have a guy that kind of shined last week against Foley, Kendrick Rogers, number 4. So be on the lookout for this guy. And honestly, with everything going record-wise, you would lean towards Prattville. Last time Stanhope actually beat Prattville in Prattville was 1979.
We weren't born.
It's so long ago that the last time this happened, the Pirates were world champions of baseball against the Orioles. We Are Family and Willie Stargell. So that being said, the records are not on Stanhope's side, and it's at Prattville, so the odds are against the Mustangs. But I'll tell you what, mark this down: the Mustangs are pulling upset at Prattville Friday night.
Hold on. Before the show, you were going with Prattville.
I'll tell you what, it was one of those things that's just, I don't know, I just have a funny feeling.
Man.
And I could be dead wrong, but I just have a feeling, so I'm going with my
I guess
gut.
you've lost your
And
backbone.
We're going with the Mustangs. No, I didn't lose my backbone.
Lost his sense.
No.
It's okay. The Lions will embarrass you again. It's okay. All right, moving on. So storylines from week 0. So Florida, Miami. The Florida State people, the state of Florida, not Florida State, think that they have some kind of super football. But what were your guys' thoughts about this particular game?
Well, let's just address to start it off. It was a sloppy game. Let's don't get
Just a little bit.
like,
First game jitters.
It's gonna happen. And before everybody freaks out though, and it's like, oh man, Florida's gonna be terrible. Let's again hold the brakes a little bit. It's the first game. Felipe Franks is not the best quarterback. We all know this.
Yeah.
So let's don't act like we all thought he was a great quarterback.
Senior this year, right? Senior this year? Or junior? Junior.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is this. Look, the game's 24-20. Gators won. It had a chance to go 14-3, and this game could have been drastically different. But it didn't go that way. Turnovers helped Miami stay in the game. Florida pulled the win out.
And a really bad missed field goal by Miami. It was like a 26-yard field goal missed.
I'm not saying Florida is terrible by any means, but I am saying I don't think they're number 8. But we all know preseason polls are garbage.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think they got that number 8 because everybody expected Felipe Franks to make the leap.
Yeah.
With Dan Mullen in the second year, and what we saw this past Saturday was not great.
No.
And a guy that I've heard some other people say that he was erratic, and I think that's the best definition of the way that he played, and emotional. He was just all over the place. 1 second he's hooping and hollering in the camera, saying this is what I do, and then goes out like the next series and throws one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen in my life. And then he even even played like the fake injure thing, you know, like he did something where he screwed up and then he drops down in a heap and like acts like he's hurt, and then he's going in the stands and talking smack, and then he's just going out there and just performing subpar.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's not what you want from your quarterback, and that makes me question Florida's number 8 ranking for sure.
All right, so highest rated game on ESPN since 16.
Yeah.
Little Mr. Fact Finder over here. Kind of impressive. Birmingham is the number 1 market, which, you know, we all know. We love football, college football.
Further proof that
Yeah.
we're the central location of football.
All right, let's move out of week 0. Let's move to week 1 of college football. What we have been waiting for, praying for, silently fasting for the last forever.
Yep.
It is upon us. Grill your dogs, smoke your ribs, and what do you think about Georgia at Vandy?
I mean, I'm not like super pumped about this, to be honest with you, but it is
You didn't like my lead up to Georgia Vandy?
It's an SEC matchup, so
Yeah,
I guess that's the most intriguing thing about it. I guess I will say one thing I did take away. I mean, it's a 21.5 point. UGA is favored by 21.5. I thought that was kind of low.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like Georgia's going to have no problem.
Tater's about to tell you this is the beginning of the championship run for the Commodores.
Mr. Anchor Down over there.
Anchor Down!
Yeah, he's got Derek Mason's got to win a SEC championship or he's out, right?
What do you got, AJ? What do you got about Georgia Vandy?
Let me just say this. I know Georgia's going to be chomping at the bit after that Texas loss. After Bevo almost killed Uga. It scared me a little bit, honestly. Like, I was worried for Uga's safety.
Oh, man. Are we talking mascots?
Yeah, we're talking mascots. But
This
anyway,
is Tater time. Serious journalism.
Okay,
Serious journalism.
Sorry. I digress. Anyway,
We do not endorse the harming of animals on the show.
We do not. Like, that's what I'm saying.
What?
But I like Uga big. 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. I think they're going to cover this.
Yeah, Kirby's about to come out and make a statement. All right, so moving down to Houston at Oklahoma, we got old Jalen going out and about here.
Yeah,
What do you think?
that's what obviously the most intriguing thing is about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's from Channelview, Texas, which is right down the road from Houston, so basically his hometown coming into Oklahoma right now. But yeah,
it's also Dana Holgerson's debut for
Can't forget
Houston.
about Holgerson leaving West Virginia for Houston, because that was a great job to leave to go to Houston.
I actually think it was.
I don't agree with that. I think he should stay where he was. Anyway, but I like Oklahoma big time.
Okay.
I think they cover this easily.
You got Georgia big, Oklahoma big. What about you, Kyle?
I mean, I am curious to see the progression that Jalen has made. I think we pointed out last week that he's probably going to have a field day against these defenses in that conference.
Yeah.
So wouldn't surprise if they're putting up the points. I mean, they did lose the whole offensive line though, so I'd be curious to see how they rebuild that. And they couldn't stop toddlers last year. I mean, it was one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. But
this is Houston now.
Yeah.
This isn't a real big barometer.
I mean, the total is 79.5. So
honestly,
I mean, you're talking about some points.
Yeah, it's
being
gonna
put up.
it's gonna be some points. But okay, so Bama starts the gauntlet of its schedule. I mean, in Atlanta, which is pretty standard for Bama, starting off with the heavy hitter, the old Duke Blue Devils. What are we thinking? Wait, do you think Bama can pull it out?
All right. First of all, let me say this. I was really
respectful.
I'll be respectful. I was a little worried before some stuff came out.
Oh no, you were worried about Bama against the Blue Devils Bama's season?
I was worried about Bama covering this game.
Oh, okay, there we go.
The truth comes out.
But honestly,
33.5.
Honestly, look, let's get a little serious though. You lose Dylan Moses to a knee injury. Not good. You lose 4 players of suspension for not coming to a team function or meeting. Guys, you gotta be better. You
I
gotta
heard
be
they
smart.
skipped the leg day.
Gotta be smarter than that.
Is that what it was?
Why would you skip?
They
that?
wouldn't ride the tube.
Anyway, they're afraid of that. But what were you gonna do that for anyway? But yeah, I think this is more Saban trying to make a point. Look, guys, we need to get focused. We were unfocused near the end of last year. We need to get it reeled back in. And look, it's the first half. These guys are sitting out. Let's don't get freaking out. They'll be back for the second half. Bama will win this game. You ain't got to worry. It's just later on in the season, that's what you worry about with Dylan Moses going down.
All right, Kyle, do you think they can cover?
I think they could still cover. Yeah, we're the suspensions by themselves. Those are key players, starters, upperclassmen.
Yeah.
You don't want those guys making those kind of mistakes, setting the tone for the team. And so then with the news of Dylan Moses, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm assuming just freak accident, but I'm getting the bad vibes. You know, like going into the year. And I know it's super early. It's very early. But that was the one player I don't think that Bama could afford to lose. Like even probably more than 2, to be honest with you. And
I will say
it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. I will say that I've said basically since I saw our schedule earlier this year that they're gonna have to win out, and they're gonna have to, like you were talking about last year where they lost focus. They're gonna have to stay focused even in spite of, honestly, should win almost every game that they have fairly easily, to remember, hey, we've got to, no matter how easy it should be, we got to show up every week. And then you got suspensions and injuries and all this kind of stuff that's really going to hurt that mentality. All right, moving on to probably one of the better games of the day, possibly the best game of the day, Auburn versus Oregon over in Jerry World. So this should be a great game, 3.5 point spread. The Ducks
I'm
are
looking
usually
forward to this one the most.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So what's your big takeaways on this one? What are we looking for?
So,
well, we have the touted, defensive line of Auburn versus the offensive line of Oregon. Both of these units have been ranked at the top of college football by a lot of different people. So that's going to be really interesting to watch.
Right.
'Cause Oregon's got a lot of experience. So does Auburn. Auburn's breaking in a freshman quarterback in a big game. This is Mario Cristobal, the head coach of Oregon. He's familiar with Auburn because he used to coach at Bama. So he's kind of familiar with Gus and how he does things. I think this is set up to just be a really good, fun game to watch.
Yeah.
I honestly think SEC is going to represent well.
I hope so.
I think Auburn is going to win this game and cover the 3.5.
Nice. Tater, what you got?
well, you got the big takeaway of hyping up this Oregon quarterback, Justin Herbert. Is that the kid's name? I don't know.
Wow.
I started.
Wow.
Shade.
Tater throwing a little shade today.
I'm just saying. Like,
What's his name again?
Every time we hear this quarterback from the Pac-12, dud.
Wow. Wow.
Honestly,
So you think he's trash?
AJ's saying that Tater Time does not have a large West Coast audience. Go ahead.
I don't know if he's trash. I don't think he's trash, but I guess he's better than some of those quarterbacks that have come out of the Pac-12 lately. I like Auburn in this, and a lot of that goes to this Bo Nix kid. It's Patrick Nix. A lot of you Auburn fans know Patrick Nix. When Auburn was called the Cardiac Kids back in the day, he was the quarterback. So Bo Nix can sling the ball. Obviously, that's why he's named the starting quarterback. But it's going to be interesting to see him go out there for as a true freshman. And this whole veteran line for Oregon versus the defensive line for Auburn. I think Auburn's defense and front is just too physical. I got Auburn by at least a touchdown in this game.
So beating the spread.
I got them beating the spread.
Okay.
Touchdown, 10 points, somewhere in there.
Nice.
I got
So,
Auburn taking it.
so we both think, or y'all both think SEC represents well, handles business over in Atlanta.
Pac-12 goes back into their
Or,
little
excuse me, not
corner where
Atlanta,
they, complain about being underrated. And
Now, who's coaching Oregon right now?
It's
Mario
Mark
Cristobal.
Yeah.
That's right. You just said that. So Cristobal was offensive line coach at Bama, what,
Mhm.
4 or 5 years
He
ago?
also played at Miami.
2012 to 2016, I think,
Yeah.
something like that.
I remember him. He had a great line.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is a new section that we're gonna do. Sneaky good games. Games that may be flying under the radar as far as coverage that we think are gonna be worth your viewing time. Possibly a DVR and a rewatch on Sunday. Long weekend. Nothing to do on Monday, obviously. So maybe DVR one of these games. What do you think, Kyle? What's your sneaky good game for this weekend?
My sneaky good game is not that it's going to be an upset, but I'm saying the LSU Georgia Southern game.
Oh, okay.
And that's because Georgia Southern, they are those guys that run the triple option.
Yeah.
I think they gave Bama trouble back in 2011. I know this is a long time ago, and they actually beat Florida in 2013. They seem to give teams a lot of trouble with that, and I think LSU's favored by 27.5. They're super hyped up right now.
Yeah.
I could see them overlooking Georgia Southern into next week's game against Texas.
Yeah.
And so I think this is I wouldn't say a trap game or anything like that, but I look for this game to be a little bit closer than the 27.5.
Yeah.
And maybe keep your interest at least to the third quarter or so.
Yeah. All right, Tater. What's your sneaky good game?
I think that's a good pick. I'm going to stay away from that one, though. Mine's going to be Thursday night, tomorrow night,
Ooh.
on the ACC network.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
You may not get it.
Dabo and Clemson playing Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is getting away from the triple option. So this could be interesting. I still like Clemson to win this game, and could be wrong. This could be a total blowout, but I just have a feeling Georgia Tech's going to be a little tougher than the 37 that they're giving Clemson. So I like this game, and a little honorable mention, watch that Ole Miss Memphis game, because Memphis is actually favored by 5.5 in this game.
Man, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so my sneaky good game is Carolina and North Carolina. I think I'm kind of I like Muschamp in his position here, just like you were talking about last week. He's got to do something, and Mac Brown is making his post analysis desk debut as a coach.
North Carolina, let me just say this right now. Quit taking away from the ESPN
Look.
analysts. It ain't working, guys.
Look, Chiswick was there,
It ain't
Mac
working.
Brown is there.
Working.
ESPN, watch your back. North Carolina's coming.
They like the retreads.
Yeah, they need some assistance. But I think this could be a good game. I really do. I've watched it the past couple of years. It's always a decent game.
Rivalry.
Yeah. I mean, it's a decent game. So I think that will probably get some of my viewing time.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So tell us what game you think is going to be a sneaky good game. Let us know what you think about our show. You may appear on the Tater Hater section. See you next week.